My red wine braised short ribs is amazing. So I have 5 pounds of really meaty short ribs. And instead of searing them in a pan, which I find so annoying, where you have to keep turning them and get oil spattered all over you, what I'm gonna do is I'm put them on a sheet pan, and I'm gonna brush them with oil, sprinkle them with 1.5 tablespoons of salt. It's a lot of salt, I know, but it's a lot of short ribs too. I actually serve this with blue cheese grits or a big puddle of mashed potatoes. I don't think anybody's been disappointed. 1.5 teaspoons of pepper. I want this really well seasoned. Into the oven, 425 degrees for 20 minutes, and it'll be nice and browned and delicious. So much easier than searing it in a pan. Okay, next the vegetables. I've got 1/4 cup of olive oil heated in the pan, and I've got 3 cups of leeks. And what I did was I dried them in a salad spinner. You don't want them wet, otherwise they steam instead of sauteing. That's 3 cups of leeks, 3 cups of celery, 2 cups of carrots, and 2 cups of chopped onions. And I'm just gonna saute this all together for the vegetables to start cooking, get tender. I'm just gonna let them cook for 20 minutes. Roasted short ribs. Oh, look how great these look. I'm just gonna turn the oven down to 325 because that's what I cook the stew at. Perfect. So the vegetables are cooked. I'm just gonna add some garlic. I always add the garlic at the last minute because I don't want it to burn. I'm just gonna cook that for about 1 minute, just until you can smell that sort of cooked garlic flavor. Okay, next is my secret weapon. My secret weapon in most dishes is, if you want it to taste better, add alcohol. So I'm gonna put in a whole bottle of red wine. I'm not messing around here. It's not like a little splash of something, a tablespoon, a whole bottle. I'm using a Côte de Rhône, which is a really nice, full-bodied French red wine, but not too fancy. Do something you would drink. It doesn't have to be incredibly expensive, it just has to taste good. And so I'm gonna bring that to a boil and lower the heat and simmer this for about 10 minutes. Okay, back to the short ribs. So the next thing I'm gonna do is add 4 cups of beef stock. If you have homemade beef stock, it's even better, but you can also use store-bought beef stock. And 1 cup of canned crushed tomatoes. It's about half a can. Okay, and wait till you see what I put in next. So I've got 1 bottle of Irish stout beer. And it's made from hops and yeast and barley, and it's just got a really dark flavor. Layered with the red wine, it's just fantastic. Okay, that's the stout. Next is thyme. And what I do is I just take a thyme sprigs and I make a little bundle. And as it cooks, all the leaves fall off and then I throw out the bundle. Then 1 tablespoon of salt. It's a big pot of stew. And 1.5 teaspoons of pepper. And give it a big stir. Okay, 1 more ingredient, roasted short ribs. So I'm gonna take this whole pan and just put the short ribs right in. And I'm gonna put all the juices from the pan in. I've actually started making classic American beef stew like this. Short ribs are just so good. They're so much more interesting than the classic chuck. They have more flavor, they're sort of richer. They make a great sauce. Okay, those are the short ribs. I'm just gonna bring this to a boil, cover it, and then I'll talk you through the next steps. First, I'll put the stew in the oven at 325 degrees for 1 hour. Next, I'll remove the lid and cook it for another hour until the meat is really tender. When the time's up, I'll take it out. Remove the short ribs with a slotted spoon and put them on a plate. Discard the thyme bundle and simmer the sauce on top of the stove for 20 minutes. So we're almost there. I'll skim off some of the fat from the top, return the ribs to the pot, and cook them for 5 minutes just for them to heat up. So all I have left to do now is serve some up. Let me show you how gorgeous this is. The short ribs, but also sauce and vegetables. And the sauce is thick and rich and absolutely amazing. Now you can see why this is one of my favorites. Big chunk of bread. How gorgeous is that? Oh, this just smells amazing. The sauce is so rich and delicious, and it's the red wine and the stout that made all the difference in the world.